Augustine of Hippo, also known as Saint Augustine, Saint Austin, Augustinus. Augustine was born on the 13th of November 354 in Algeria. He died at the age of 75 on the 28th of August 430. Augustine was an early philosopher and Christian theologian whose writings had influenced the development of Western philosophy and Christianity. Augustine grew up in a Christian family, although he went through many phases before turning to Christianity altogether. After a few years as a Manichaean, he became attracted to the more skeptical positions of the academic philosophers. Although tempted in the direction of Christianity upon his arrival at Milan in 383, he turned first to Neoplatonism. Augustine was drawn into various sins of impurity and ignorance before he turned to Christianity. Augustine was officially baptized in 387 by Ambrose, who he had met while studying rhetoric at Carthage. Augustine's most celebrated work is his On the City of God, which was a study of the relationship between Christianity and secular society. Augustine was known as a powerful advocate for orthodoxy and of the episcopacy as the sole means for the dispensing of saving grace, and one of the four most recognized fathers of the Church. St. Augustine has been one of the greatest contributors of new ideas in the history of the Catholic Church, and is an example for us all, a sinner turned saint who gives all of us hope. Augustine is one of the 33 doctors of the Church, and his feast day is celebrated on August 28th. Augustine had a huge selection of works he created. Ognet stated, "The size of the literary output of Augustine is astonishing. A contemporary Augustinian scholar estimated it as being equivalent to approximately that of writing a 300-page printed book every year for almost 40 years. He wrote 104 wonderful pieces. The dates range from 386 to 430. I have added all of these to the next couple slides that you can review. Augustine views self and society under God, and we know this by reading his selection of justice and leadership. He stated that if a soul does not serve God, it cannot with any kind of justice command the body, nor can a man's reason control the vicious elements in the soul. He believes that if there is no justice in such a man, there can be no sort of doubt that there is no justice in a gathering which consists of men. He believes that a state cannot be maintained without justice, and where there is no true justice, there can be no right. Augustine believed that for any action according to right is inevitably a just action, while no unjust action can possibly be according to right. Augustine thought that by seeking God and loving God that true justice would be served. Justice is loving, serving God only. Justice becomes the distinction between ideal and non-ideal political states on earth. Augustine suggests that no earthly state can claim to possess true justice, but some result in being more just than others. Augustine believes where there is no true justice, there can be no association of men united by a common sense of right. In order to be a just person, one must be ruled and live under God. In his powerful piece, he divided people into the citizens of the heavenly city and the citizens of the earthly city. Citizens of the earthly city are the unregenerate progeny of Adam and Eve, who are justifiably damned because of Adam's fall. On the other hand, citizens of the city of God are pilgrims and foreigners, who, because God, the object of their love, is not immediately available for their present enjoyment, are very much out of place in a world without an earthly institution sufficiently similar to the city of God. Augustine played a huge role in society and leadership. He influenced everyone so much that they even made a few shows and movies for him. That was called Augustine of Hippo in 1972, a mini-series called Augustine, The Decline of the Roman Empire in 2010, and a film called Restless Heart, The Confessions of St. Augustine in 2012. Augustine also influenced a few authors, such as Justine Garders, who wrote a philosophical novel, Vita Brevis, which was presented as a translation of a manuscript written by Augustine's concubine after he became the Bishop of Hippo. Augustine was also present in the novel The Dalkey Archive by Flann O'Brien. Not only did Augustine influence authors and actors, but also musicians. An artist, Bob Dylan, recorded a song called I Dreamed I Saw St. Augustine and put it on his album John Wesley Harding. From being one of the foremost recognized fathers of the Church to his work influencing many great people, Augustine was truly a saint. Augustine stood behind his faith and opinions, and everyone became influenced by it. He became the face of the Catholic Church and was known as one of the greatest contributors of new ideas in the history of the Catholic Church.